when we were shot, there was absolutely no warning. I remember distinctly the police car approaching us. There were police there, but there was one police car in particular that approached, and before the car had even stopped, the officers had gotten out of the car and started firing at us right here, that where I was hit in the neck. And from my assumption, you're not supposed to hit above that line. Who announced he was a medic, and from my understanding was identifiable as a medic. As he ran out, he was, instead of being told he could not run out the street, was simply shot at twice. Just this experience alone was, I think, for all of us, rather traumatic. That's all I have to say.
Nobody asked us to move. Nobody asked us, anything. They got out of the car and they started shooting at us. It was, and then afterwards, they ripped off our protective wear. I'm almost at a loss for words with the brutality that was being used, especially while being taken out of the PVC tubes in themselves, with one officer grabbing me and pulling me this way, and the other one, obviously while my hand was inside of a tube that was in there, pulling me the other way, while my head was being completely pushed down into the ground, and just excessive force.
He refused the entire time to give us our badge, to give any of the cops. I believe only one police officer out of 10 or so gave us his badge number. I think the main underlying point out of all of this is, even though it was a traumatic experience, it has only unified us as a family. Our determination is stronger than ever. We will not give up until the Port of Olympia demilitarizes its port. We will not give up until the police are dealt with properly. And we will never give up until this illegal and racist war has been ended.
I grew up in Israel. I was born there, and I was involved with a lot of peace work there. And then my family moved to Chicago, and I was involved with a lot of protests, a lot of peace work there. My past experience is that if an officer comes and says that they're going to remove or arrest someone, that's what they go and do. And never in my life have I experienced personally the type of violence that happened yesterday. A lot of people who were linked arms just fell down on the ground, and then they started beating them and dragging them aside. A lot of violence that happened that was not necessary. No violence was necessary. And I was feeling so angry. I don't know why I was feeling so angry, because I knew that we can't stop violence through violence and anger. But I couldn't help it, because I saw these police just a few nights before. I saw what they looked like. I talked with them as human beings. And here I saw them again. Like, they recognized me, and I was looking at them. And they were pepper spraying me and beating people up around me. And I was just thinking, how could this possibly be happening? Not to mention that across the street, the pro-war protesters were cheering and laughing while police were beating people up. It's so sad.
I noticed that a dumpster was falling towards someone's car. The woman was already screaming and taking photos of everyone. So I started to move the dumpster away from her car, and I feel like I'm portrayed in the media as pushing that dumpster towards her car. Just wanted to clear that up. I saw police coming towards her, about to smash into her. I didn't know what was going to happen, so I ran towards her, and I tried to protect her. They had already kicked her down onto the ground, and they were kicking her continuously. And she was trying to get on the sidewalk. They told her, get out of the street, get out of the street. I tried to protect her, and I tried to push her onto the sidewalk, and I just don't remember how this happened, but somehow I was sprayed. I think many of us were sprayed in that area, and it was extremely vicious, and I was in extraordinary pain. I couldn't breathe very well. I almost went to the hospital. I wasn't breathing normally for at least 40 minutes, and then I had to go to someone's house and take a very painful shower to try to get all of the pepper spray off my body. Luckily, the clothes were donated by Dumpster Values. I just can't believe that human beings can poison human beings for doing something peaceful. That's all I wanted to say.
Before I say anything about myself, I feel this needs to be said. I'd really like to thank everyone who showed up to protest, to form some kind of blockade, all the medics who showed up, all the businesses that helped, and legal observers, anybody who helped during this week. You're all very amazing, brave people. I'd like to thank you all for showing up. I get kind of tears just thinking about how brave all of you are. But I noticed people to my right, a couple girls were being pulled out of the line and hit with billy clubs down until they were on their knees and on the ground. And they would pull their arms behind their back like they're going to arrest them. Instead of arresting them, they would spray them in the face with pepper spray. And just really awful, to tell you. And the police didn't seem like it was even bothering them. They were laughing about it, people being pepper sprayed, they were dragging people to the backs of their shirts. I personally, while I was, it got to the point where I couldn't stand any more of the pepper spray, and as I was clearly making my way to the side of the road, they sprayed me a couple more times directly to the face. And fortunately, they had several painful medical procedures done in the past, and I can say without a doubt this was the most painful experience I've ever been through. I had that much pepper.
I took an oath many years ago to protect and preserve the Constitution from all threats, foreign and domestic. And I also took a personal oath to protect individuals who took that oath after me from a similar kind of threat of harm. Say loudly and clearly that never once during the entire process of this demonstration from the day the ship arrived on Monday morning a week ago, has there ever been any incident of provocation or any incident of nonviolence perpetrated toward anybody at all, even the people who are on the other side of the right way and yelling in opposition to that, what they would simply do is pick the people up and move them away. We're talking about young people, and we're talking about very large men having the capacity to simply pick people up and move them away. When they chose to literally drown them with pepper spray, and you can see it on YouTube, that's an excessive use of force. That was completely unnecessary and completely out of line with what was going on there in terms of a peaceful demonstration. This afternoon, when the strikers were getting ready to leave on the flatbeds, the police approached, they blocked us on the sidewalk, and I was standing at the corner where the pedestrian walkway is, and as I attempted to walk into the pedestrian walkway, two police officers hit me with clubs, one across my neck and one across my face. And as I continued to push against them, and I'll admit to doing that because their force was pushing me away, another police officer shot me with 5 or 6 of their pepper bullets in my legs. And I can tell you that's completely unreasonable in relation to what I was trying to do. I felt that I was being denied access to what was rightly mine, the streets of the city of Olympia. I felt that I was denied access to a legal pedestrian crosswalk. And I really believe it's incumbent upon all of us, those of you who haven't been there yet, support the people who have been there, and if you can, in any way that you can support what's going on, come down to the Port of Olympia and help us to sustain this action.